Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche pregame show presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up for a new account to get amazing odds boosts every single day. Megan and Rudo coming to you live as the Avs taking on the Lightning for the second time in a week, this time on Valentine's Day. Looking for a little bit of revenge on the Stanley Cup's Evil X, I suppose, is what we're looking at. Lots of Avs notes that none of them are particularly amazing. None of the defensemen that were out will be in tonight. Josh Manson close, but not ready to go. The other one's no timeline. Pavel Francouz out with a lower body injury still. Want to start there, Megan. I know Bednar talked a little bit about it at Morning Skate. How hard can the Avs ride Georgiev through this stretch?
They're going to have to. They're not in a place where they could risk giving up games to Jonas Johansson. And I don't mean to say that as a demerit of Johansson. He's been fine at the American League level, but we just know that it is a very random expectation, and they can't afford to drop games. So they're going to have to rely on Georgiev to be the starter that he always dreamed of being. It's just born out of necessity right now more than anything.
When you've got no choice, you've got to work. So we'll see exactly how they do decide to divvy it up. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Georgiev gets all 6 of these back-to-back games, but just depends on where Frankie's at and how comfortable they feel starting JoJo. I would expect him to start these two. I would start there. We'll see on the other back-to-backs as they get to them. Tonight, beyond just Georgiev, little something extra to prove for Colorado, given the last game against Tampa was not great.
Absolutely, especially on home ice. And because they are entering their stretch run and these points really do matter, you remove who the competition is from the equation for a second and it still matters a lot. But the emotions of the game from the last Tampa game out the gate were really high, and Tampa was playing playoff-style hockey that was hard for the Avs to contend with, that they probably know better now to come out the gate with a similar energy that matches theirs.
I hope they do. I will not lie to you. I am not confident that they still don't have Cale Makar for this matchup. Obviously, you don't feel great about Josh Manson, Eric Johnson, the rest, but Cale Makar kind of the big one there. For the Avs defense, Brad Hunt wasn't really ever sent down, essentially just waived and kept.
He did go to Loveland in practice.
For like one day.
I feel so bad for him, but he said he lives in a midway point. So he's not quite in Denver, not quite in Loveland.
Lives in Firestone or something.
Yeah.
Not too bad for him. Between him and Ben Myers, both have been called up. Is it just next man up scenario right now for the Avs, or are they actually expecting to get something out of these guys?
You know, Ben Myers could surprise us. That's the hope, right?
Of course.
But because he was able to start building some confidence at the American League level, because he was actually scoring, and he was playing with a lot of intensity too. I pointed out that he got into his first career fight. Not that I'm encouraging hockey criminal Ben Myers, but he was playing with a lot of intensity at the American League level. I think it did help him to boost his confidence that it would be really nice timing if he could allow some of that to translate to the National League level now, because it really does matter to him and the trajectory of his path back to the NHL to do as much.
It's true. He's got 1 NHL point so far this year. He had some last year too, for the record. But you would really appreciate that from him, especially given the other night. You've seen the Avs' depth. You know, I'm not going to expect 2 goals out of him every night, but a couple of those guys starting to get their game back a little bit in the offensive zone. Obviously, they're going to need that against a team like Tampa, but who is the most important piece for Colorado tonight? Is it Georgiev? Is it MacKinnon? Is it a defenseman like Taves or Byram? Who do you got?
I have Georgiev at the top of the list, but I'm also looking to MacKinnon pretty keenly, because not only did the depth find scoring in the Florida game, so did Nathan MacKinnon, and that's going to be the person I'm looking to beat Vasilevsky. I would hope anyone can step up to that plate. They're more than welcome to, but I'm really looking at Nathan MacKinnon to be the one to do it.
This is a little bit of a conversation that we've gotten into before, but when you're looking at the leaders by example on this hockey team, you're looking at guys like MacKinnon because of the absence of Gabe Landeskog is not just a leader by example, but a leader in the locker room. You're looking at Cale Makar. You're looking at Mikko Rantanen. we kind of know Andrew Cogliano is a veteran, already fills that role. Is there someone else you feel has stepped up into a bit of a leadership role this year with all of those absences?
I don't know if I would say leadership, but someone who has assumed a lot of responsibility and has seemed to settle into that more comfortably than we've seen before is JT Compher. I feel like he has been a stabilizing player that can be moved throughout the lineup and play above expectation. And there have been times where he's been asked to play higher roles and you've seen him falter a bit. And I think that he's done a pretty good job of being consistent, being asked to do a little bit more. So he's somebody that I look to being an important piece in this forward group right now.
Contract years. They work some magic, I guess. Getting back to the defense, though, you have a current setup where Devon Toews is essentially the number one. Where do you shake it out beyond that? Is Bowen Byram already the Avs number two? Is it still Sam Girard? How are you balancing out that lineup, at least in the top four?
I do think it'll be a Girard-Toews combination, but I think it's going to be mixed up frequently throughout points of the game, and they're probably going to ride Toews and Girard pretty hard, but Byram has already been playing close to what we expected his ice time to be when he was fully healthy, so I think that's only going to continue from here. He's going to be entrusted with second top flex minutes.
Sure. So the Jared Bednar special, as usual.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm anticipating.
All right. I do hope so. I do think the Avs really can focus in on Byram as part of their, as long as Makar is out, as part of their X factor on their defense, even really after Makar is back. But you can funnel minutes to that guy when you're missing someone in your top four. So we'll be curious to see exactly how those minutes work out. Obviously, they will continue to play with what they have on their bottom pairing. It's not that they're bad, not that they've even struggled of late. It's just you kind of get what you get out of those guys.
Yeah, they're not really fully trusted either. So like even when their performance hasn't warranted much criticism, they're still just not eating up very much of that time.
Yeah.
Toews is being leaned on heavily that I anticipate something similar to, even though I think Hunt and Englund have been fine.
Agree. I really don't have any problems with their play, especially over, longer term stretches. They'll have an off night here and there, but it's just the reality of guys on the fringes like that. They end up getting 10, 12 minutes a lot of nights. So their usage will be what it is. You mentioned it off the top of the show. I wanted to get back to it. Tampa certainly came ready for playoff pace in the last game. Are we at the point with Colorado where every night should be a playoff night for them?
I think we are at that point. It's tough because that level of engagement requires intensity that is probably very harsh on the body as well. And we are looking at the list of injuries, and you don't want guys to overwork themselves either, but you do need some heroics from every player. It's the buy-in that we talk about so often, and it's going to have to be an intensity that is very similar to the playoffs because that is what the target is. That's what they're playing for. It's not given at this point in time.
It's true.
And so they have to play with it in mind.
How you set up these back-to-backs, is it realistic to expect the Avs to get 4 points out of any of them, or are you looking at, hey, you got to get at least 2 out of it, all the next 3 sets of back-to-backs?
I like the aspirational approach of like get 4 points, guys. But I mean, I'd be happy with 2.
Okay.
I hadn't really thought about it, but I do think that they need 4.
Out of this one specifically, or it's just some of them?
Some of them.
Okay. So we'll see. Play it by ear as always.
It's going to come down to Georgiev in a lot of ways, to be honest, like how he's handling that workload.
Yep. He makes his life easier if he starts good, right? If they manage to take care of Tampa tonight, you kind of get a free roll in the second half against Minnesota. Obviously, there's other factors with the Minnesota game, given it being 4-point swing, direct competition for that third spot. But if the Avs can get ahead of their point totals that they're targeting, that second back-to-back, that third back-to-back, maybe you feel a little bit more comfortable playing JoJo in one of those.
Right.
So we'll see exactly, but I do think the Avs should be expecting, I'm not going to say 4 points out of back-to-backs, but an average of 3 maybe across the stretch.
I like that.
Find a way.
It's just non-committal enough.
Nothing crazy, but better than average. You know, you just gotta meme your way all the way through it on that one. All right, let's get to our bets here. Moving quick because Megan's got to get down to the stadium. Yeah, I didn't think so.
Myers' first goal.
I've got some DraftKings I can call out over here. Colorado even money to win tonight. One, it's on home ice. If you feel good about that, take it. If you feel bad about Cale Makar being out, Tampa also only minus 120. So if you want to do the emotional hedge on Valentine's Day, maybe that's appropriate. I don't know.
It's a difficult holiday for Avalanche fans.
I guess. Yeah, there's definitely some bad memories for Avalanche fans on Valentine's Day. That's unfortunately true. Goal in the first 10. Altitude's favorite bet. If you take the under, it's plus 115. So I don't know. I'm just trying to find interesting bets on the fly at this point. That's the beauty of DraftKings. You can get in there. If you're looking for some of your usual free money type of bets, you can always go with player shots on goal, things like that. The Avs have Devon Taves over a shot and a half at minus 175. So I guess that's not very good money, but I feel like it's a free bet to have, especially with Taves, who will be running Power Play 1 tonight. You can go in on DraftKings, find whichever bets you like. I personally like their quick same-game parlays, as it helps your odds quite a bit. For the Avs tonight, if you want to take the Avs to win, you can pick Mikko Rantanen to be a 2 or more goal scorer. You can pick Colorado to cover, and if they get the first goal, for plus 800. So that feels a little crazy to me, but you can make a ton of money that way. If you want an easier one, you can always do the coin flip bet. Avs to win, odd total number of goals, plus 500. Why not jump on it with DraftKings? Must be 21 or older, Colorado only. Other terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Of course, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Megan, before you get out of here, looking at... Okay, we're good? All right.
We just have background music.
There you go. Looking at the Avs lineup, looking at the bottom six, kind of avoided that conversation outside of Ben Myers. Is there guys you want to see consistency out of, or would you like to see someone like an Alex Newhook start to get back to that production a little bit? You can only pick one.
Like it's Newhook or the others?
Not Newhook specifically,
okay.
But the haves versus the have-nots. Would you like to see more people get off the scoreless streak, or would you like to see some of the guys who just got off it continue to produce?
I think it's realistic to look to someone like Newhook to more consistently produce versus picking Logan O'Connor and saying, I hope he scores tonight. I hope he does. And I think it's a formula where one of them has to in order for it to be considered depth scoring, and it's part of a winning formula for success that someone in the depth scores. But I think most realistically, you could look to Newhook being the person to more regularly contribute.
I certainly hope so. But as you put it, I think you'll take it from anybody.
No, exactly. If it's Logan O'Connor, that's great. Andrew Cogliano, step on up. It doesn't matter. It just has to be one of them.
Yep. Frankly, I don't think the Avs win this game without depth production. I think that's just the reality.
Agree.
Not to, I say that and Mikko could have a hat trick tonight. You never know. But when you play good teams, it's got to be the entire lineup going, pushing you in the right direction to win. So hopefully the Avs can get a little bit of that. Hopefully Georgiev plays his A game tonight.
It would be redemptive. That goalie showdown was not what we had hoped and dreamed for.
It was interesting too, right? Because the first period of that game, you're saying, hey, he played pretty well.
Right.
And then things fell apart from there. So there you go. Evil X is in redemption. That's all. That's what Valentine's Day is about.
That's what the spirit of the holiday is about.
That's what we're going with on this show anyway. We did this one a little bit early, so I'll be down for about 30 minutes hanging out at the bar. If you're coming down, come say hi. If not, I will be going live for the watch along for the game. So tune into that. You know what? We can be lonely on Valentine's Day together. That's the way to do it.
Air horn.
Yeah, that's a tough air horn. That one's tough. I don't know about that. Yeah, right. Yeah. Come celebrate loneliness with air horns on the watch along. That's the play for Valentine's Day.
Saying this is like you're the happily married one.
Well, yeah. I mean, sure, but like I will be here without my wife on Valentine's Day. So, short-term loneliness, not long-term
loneliness.
Doesn't matter whether you're lonely or not. Come have fun with us for the watch along. We're going to get out of here for this show. Any final thoughts you wanted to touch on this one, Megan?
No, I'm good. I hope it's a better night.
All right. I expect by the post-game show you have a name for that unicorn.
I wanted to name him after Cale Makar in some way. I'll have to think on it, though.
Name him Slurpee.
Slurpee. That's adorable. Okay, sorry. Bye.
All right, we're getting out of here. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you in about 30 minutes.
Slurpee is the cutest name for